Alright, so here it is. This is the Note 20 Ultra. It's looking kind of greasy. So we're running speed tests. I've made a bunch of throughout the town short clips of videos. I'll tag that in here somewhere. We're in the basement of my house here in Louisville, Kentucky. Right now it's on Wi-Fi, so we just see a Wi-Fi test. Really, I'm not getting stellar numbers on the Wi-Fi test, which is kind of disappointing. This should be Wi-Fi 6 capable. My router, of course, is not Wi-Fi 6 capable, but I would think it'd still give me the better speeds. These are both on Wi-Fi. This is the A71, which I was pretty impressed with. I'm swapping my son from the A71 to the REVVL 5G. This is the one with that cool purple-ish back. I'm gonna get my other son this one. So that's pretty stellar speeds on this one. I guess it's pretty close. All right, now I have taken this one off. It's on 5G, if you can see that up here. And that's another thing. This thing always says 5G, even though it's not on 5G. So like right here, it's gonna show LTE. This one only has on Wi-Fi. This one is also showing 5G. If you can see that here, this is the REVVL. This is a $399 phone, and this is a $1,300 phone. And they're both on 5G. I do these kind of tests all the time, and everybody leaves me comments about how I'm not testing them correctly. I'm not meant to do a scientific test here. I'm kind of testing how I would test it in real life. My son and I would both be using our phones at the exact same time, so it's interesting to see how one performs versus the other. Here, they're about on par with each other. The SIM card that was in here was previously in this phone. I just swapped them right over. And you can see here, he would hit 5G every once in a while and get decent speeds, right? Pretty consistent, really. Here's a 92. On my Note, you can see I did hit the higher speeds. I actually got I don't know, that 157. I guess that's 5G. I don't know why it's showing a person. Oh, that's Wi-Fi, I guess. I don't know why it's that weird person icon. Here we go, 129 on 5G. So I did get 5G at one point. A good speed on 5G at one point, 129. This was a different part of town. So like I said, I splice in videos from other parts from around the town with this thing. But yeah, here in my basement, we're not quite getting the 5G speeds. But, you know, you don't get 5G. You're not guaranteed to get 5G all the time. T-Mobile's just meant to be a solid connection. So far, I have not had any connection issues. I mean, I've wanted it to be faster, of course, but I've never not had a connection. Now, we are still in the pandemic, of course, so I'm not traveling for work anymore. But I do. I went to the car shop. I went to my brother-in-law's house. I went to just random shit, veterinarian, all kinds of stuff, right? So I have gotten some extra tests in here, although that's not a very good score. So that's a little better. Alright, well that's good. I guess at this point I'll add another shit into the video, and then you can see the scores from various areas. You can see August 25th, 12:30 in my Jeep. I'm using the built-in screen recorder on the Note 20. We're going to run a speed test. It does show 5G down at the bottom there. So again, not a bad speed. Nothing. Well, that's pretty good actually. Oh yeah, that's faster than I've gotten previously, so it took a little bit of time to get there, and the ping was a little high, I guess, but no one's complaining about this kind of speed, I don't think. Alright, and then let's run a fast speeds test. Still about on par. That upload speed's insane, if that's correct. That makes more sense. Alright, let's do one more speed test with the Ookla app. You can see my results. I haven't been great. Not a lot of 5G either. But most of this is in my house. I did go to my brother-in-law's for a bit. So we can see it's really shitty speeds here in the middle. Alright, let's try and test. Still August 25th, of course. Middle of the day in the city of Louisville. Alright, so we seem to be on par with getting in the 90s down and 14, 15 up, something like that, so pretty good. Alright, thanks. I might record some more across town later, probably. So now I'm recording my screen. I'm in our Volvo at the vet. And let's do a speed test here. It is 10 o'clock on a Friday night. and we're on a different side of town than we normally are. Let's just check our speed limit here. You can see it showing 5G. So they're getting some solid speeds right here. That's pretty impressive. I don't want to live in this part of town, but I do want these kind of speeds all the time. I would say this is probably the best speed test I've had on the 5G network. We're going to make some more videos on this later. Alright, thanks. Alright, so now I actually drove to somewhere in Ohio, Washington Courthouse. It's, I guess, a city. I didn't even know that existed. I drove here to get my new desk, which I'll have a separate video on. But we're pretty far, 2.5 hours away from Louisville, where I normally am. So let's run the test, see what kind of speeds we get here. So it still says 5G up top. You can see down the bottom it's only showing LTE, and not very good speeds LTE, really. I mean, I didn't lose connection the whole way I drove here. I drove my Jeep the entire way using Android Auto. I never lost connection. I was, didn't have any problems. That upload show's pretty shitty, but again, I don't know this part of town. I didn't know existed before yesterday, so all I know about Ohio is Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus, and then the world famous second Tony lives in Canton. But this part is not necessarily near any of those, so it's probably in a very big town. It's just the only one that had this desk, so I tested it. It's pretty good. I'm gonna test again while I stop to get something to eat, and we'll see if it is similar or better scores on a more populous area. Alright, it's just a little bit later, like 10, 20 miles down the road, where I was pulling over to get something to eat. I'm disappointed because I thought there would be a Freddy's here, but it's not. And there's also not a Jack in the Box. Well, it's like 40 miles away, but I'm not driving 40 miles out of my way for Freddy's or Jack in the Box. But here, I'm getting a lot better, and I'm getting on 5G. So here we go. So now we're in a bigger town. I don't really know where I'm at. But you can see I'm getting much better speeds here. For some reason, it's tying into Indianapolis. I'm not near Indianapolis, I don't think. But either way, now we're getting some good speeds. So this is the second time since I've had this phone that I've tested over 100 on 5G. Once in Louisville, Kentucky, where I live, and once, obviously, wherever I'm at, somewhere in Ohio. So that's pretty good. But again, very happy with the phone. I would just, and the speeds are doing pretty good, and I expect them to get better. So, all right, thanks. So this is probably my last check. Florence, Kentucky. Florence has a giant water tower that says Florence, y'all. Yeah, we're still showing 5G down there. So that's about on par what I'm getting in my basement. Well, I guess a little faster than my last basement test, but not terribly far from my house. I am far from my house, but I'm still about an hour and a half from my house. But these are pretty good standards, consistent speeds of what I see in Louisville. So I think the story is that we're basically getting sometimes fast speeds, but for the most part, just fairly consistent, okay speeds. Nothing bad, really. Anyhow, I'm happy with the phone. Alright, thanks. Once again, we're in another part of town. We're still in Louisville, but we're out by my mom's house, so we're going to do a speed test here. It's a good 20 minutes from my house. I'm in the car. The air conditioner's loud, but it's also pretty hot, so I'm not turning it down. We just tested my son's A71, and he was getting 50 down. Not A70 yet. No, that's the REVVL 5G. So that's the REVVL 5G, and he got, same speeds. I guess he got there faster than I did. But so yeah, I got better upload speeds than he got. All right, pretty good. And at least it is showing 5G down there. So like I said, there is 5G in the city. It doesn't just blow your socks off with speeds, but it's pretty solid, consistent speeds. All right, thanks. All right, we'll do. I should have, if I edited this correctly, I've added all the other shit in here. So let's do another test, even though it's only been like 5 seconds since the previous test. Alright, I put it in airplane mode to try to kill the antenna. I'll take it out of airplane mode, and now we should get back on 5G. Maybe jump to another tower, we'll see. Alright, so that made, that's on my Wi-Fi, that's why. For a second I was like, alright, we hit some good speeds. But for some reason I jumped back on my Wi-Fi. So that's not a good Wi-Fi test. It's a good upload speed on Wi-Fi. So now we're off Wi-Fi, and now it should be on 5G, or at least on T-Mobile service as opposed to Wi-Fi. And we're getting about the same consistent speeds. So, all right. So we're not really breaking new ground here in the basement in Louisville, Kentucky. But overall, the phone, I'm pretty happy with it. I am going to sell my Note 10 Plus, which I loved. This was pretty much the same phone. In theory, this one has better internals. It does seem a little faster to use. The speed tests aren't blowing me away by any means. The 5G is not blowing me away. It's not disappointing me, really. I mean, it's fine. I'm getting connections everywhere. I'm not having any problems with connections. And obviously, it's a newer phone, so the battery's better than my older phone. So, but overall, I love the Note series of phones. You know, as you can tell, I have plenty of phones laying around the house, and I always choose. I'm recording this on my LG V60, and I have the Note 10 Plus as well. But I'm far and away choosing this phone. It's just, I just love the Note phones in general. They're always my favorite, and this one is no exception. So don't buy it for the 5G, just buy it for being a great phone. All right, thanks for checking me out. Leave me any questions in the comments, and I'll get back to you.